Hello friends, welcome back to the King YouTube channel. There has been talk of an operation, but in truth, it was neither wanted nor necessary. The topic at hand is Prince Harry and Prince William being in the same room again, rather than framing it as Operation Bring Harry in from the cold. Which sounds fabricated, perhaps by someone from the United States. It seems more apt to label it Operation No, Thank You, Absolutely Not. Let's break it down step by step. Harry attended the memorial service for his uncle, Lord Fellows. Initially, many thought Harry hadn't been there at all, assuming it was a ploy to generate media attention. This likely stems from the ongoing rumors in Montecito, particularly with the upcoming re-release of Harry's book, Spare. Considering the various reports circulating and the controversy surrounding Harry's trip to the UK, it seems there's some merit to these speculations. However, some doubted that it was truly Harry, as there were no images to confirm his presence. No photo surfaced of him leaving Lax Airport, nor were there any showing his arrival at Heathrow looking sombre. No pictures were taken inside the church either. There was no presidential-style motorcade, no sign of snipers or drones, none of the usual fanfare that typically surrounds Harry's movements. You understand the point. There was simply no fuss around him. It's likely that this was part of an agreement with the Spencer family. They didn't even inform the residents of Sandringham about the service at St. Mary's Church. Even without Prince William there, the media remains relentless, and they wouldn't have hesitated to swarm, regardless of whether it was a memorial or a funeral. Many only became aware of the service on the very morning it was held at St. Mary's, which undoubtedly helped minimize early media attention. Of course, the media eventually discovered that Harry was present, though it makes one wonder how that information leaked. Social media was flooded with posts, and every media outlet was eager to cover the story. However, the comment that truly caught my attention was the suggestion that Prince William needs to be the bigger person. Frankly, I believe Prince William has already proven himself to be the bigger person. When you consider the relentless attacks Harry has launched against his family over the past 5 years, it's clear who has shown restraint. Harry has criticized their grandparents, their father, and has openly targeted Camilla. He's even tarnished Diana's legacy. In fact, I've heard more about Princess Diana from Harry in recent years than I did during her lifetime or in the years after her passing. He constantly uses Diana's memory as a shield, keeping himself in the spotlight by emphasizing, "I'm my mother's son." Harry often frames his actions as upholding Diana's legacy, but I believe the real reason Prince William will never forgive him is due to his attacks on the Princess of Wales. Harry accused Catherine of being cold and aloof towards Meghan, even revealing private text messages between the two women. He also insinuated that William didn't marry Catherine for love but because she fit the royal mold. Omid Scobie echoed this, referring to Catherine as a Stepford wife. Additionally, Harry allowed their chief ally to suggest that Catherine and their father, King Charles, were royal racists. He has done nothing to stop online bots and their supporters from spreading that narrative. We know that Harry and Meghan are quick to have their representatives issue statements correcting even the most trivial matters, yet on this serious issue, there's been silence. Despite everything Catherine has been through, including a major surgery earlier this year and her battle with cancer, Harry has done little to defend her. This ongoing tension, especially given such personal attacks, explains why reconciliation seems so unlikely. Harry has never issued a statement denying Omid Scobie's claims, allowing the narrative to continue unchecked. On top of that, he has hinted that Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis might face the same fate as him, claiming to feel a sense of responsibility for their future. Yet, I believe Harry should focus more on his own 2 children, who are often left in the care of nannies while he travels the world attending concerts and award shows. It's ironic given his frequent talk about breaking the cycle of generational trauma. The hypocrisy is glaring when it comes to Harry. He is currently suing several media outlets for supposedly ruining his life and friendships by selling stories about him. Meanwhile, he has been the one to reveal intimate details about his own family in exchange for money. For 30 pieces of silver, Harry has betrayed them. He truly is a modern-day Judas. Harry has become a modern-day traitor to both the crown and his family. While some argue that Prince William should be the bigger person, the mere fact that Harry hasn't faced harsher consequences from his brother shows that William is already far more gracious and composed than Harry will ever be. Harry's relentless attacks continue unabated. Every time he steps up to a microphone, it's as though he's putting the tabloids on trial, demanding my family should stand by me. But why should they, Harry? When for the past 5 years you've done nothing but wage war against them. knowing full well that they are unable to respond to many of the falsehoods and accusations you and Meghan have thrown their way. As for Harry quietly attending this service, we've heard again and again that, despite his frequent claims that security concerns prevent him from visiting the UK, Harry has shown here that he's quite capable of entering and leaving the country unnoticed. This is particularly interesting given that he didn't attend his grandfather Prince Philip's memorial but was willing to take the risk for this occasion, potentially facing a confrontation with Prince William. It raises the question why, especially since Harry wasn't particularly close to Lord Fellowes. Robert Fellowes began his career as an assistant private secretary to the Queen in 1977 and became her private secretary in 1990, serving until 1999. During that time, he supported the Queen through 3 royal divorces, those of Princess Anne, Prince Andrew, and most notably Prince Charles and Princess Diana. He also assisted during the Windsor Castle fire and was a key figure during the aftermath of Princess Diana's death. Fellowes was even publicly accused by Mohammed Al-Fayed, the owner of Harrods, of being involved in a conspiracy to murder his son Dodi and Princess Diana, supposedly orchestrated from the British Embassy's operating room. If Harry wasn't close to Lord Fellowes, one has to wonder what truly motivated his attendance. Of course, these accusations were false, and Lord Fellowes had solid alibis, but Diana was known to dislike him, referring to him as one of the men in grey suits, the same term Harry and Meghan later used to describe the Queen's courtiers and trusted advisors. Although Fellowes stepped down as the Queen's private secretary in 1999, he remained a close confidant and member of her inner circle. It's likely that Lord Fellowes continued advising the Queen during Meghan's arrival and throughout the drama that followed. Remember when Harry gave that interview the day after meeting the Queen, stating that he didn't like the people around her and that she was surrounded by the wrong people? It's quite possible that Lord Fellowes was among those he was referring to. So why would Harry go to such lengths, risking future legal action over his security concerns and a potential public confrontation with his brother? There must be more to his motives. As we all know, Harry tends to act only when he believes he stands to gain something from it. It's evident to many royal observers who have watched his journey since he first appeared publicly with Meghan at the Invictus Games in 2017 and their subsequent marriage in 2018 that he may not be as content with the direction his life has taken as he once hoped. The reality has not lived up to his expectations. Being an A-list celebrity isn't proving as rewarding as he anticipated, and his vanity projects barely make an impact, much less in the vast arena of Hollywood. The initial excitement has faded for American celebrities, and Harry and Meghan are finding that their star power isn't what it used to be. Harry and Meghan have found themselves attracting unwanted attention, and few are willing to risk their own reputations for such an association. They envision becoming global celebrities, but instead, they become a global laughingstock. They are primarily known for their constant complaints and self-centered attitudes, having squandered numerous opportunities to make a positive impact. They exploit public goodwill but come across as selfish, indolent, and manipulative. Their lack of a clear purpose or meaningful contribution stands in stark contrast to their ongoing campaign to extract money from Harry's family. Harry seems more discontented with Meghan than he ever was living in his brother's shadow. He appears to be realizing that, despite his challenges within the royal family, being part of a cohesive team with Catherine and William offered a sense of purpose. Now he finds himself overshadowed by Meghan, who dominates decisions and controls the narrative. Harry no longer seems lost or clinging to Meghan like a needy follower. Instead, he appears tense, irritated, angry, resentful, and weary of her behavior. This shift in demeanor leads me to a theory about his recent actions. Based on my observations and personal perspective, without any insider knowledge, I suspect that Harry managed to attend the memorial and burial discreetly, bypassing Meghan's awareness. There were no exclusive reports from TMZ, no photos of him at Lax, and no images of his arrival at Heathrow. The paparazzi were not tipped off about his trip, and Meghan didn't appear for a public photo op. I find it hard to believe that Meghan would have agreed to Harry's visit if she had been aware. It seems Harry might have taken this trip in an effort to start mending relationships and seek a path back to the UK and regain some of the public's goodwill. He might have asked Meghan not to make a scene, and she would have complied, as she tends to take public photo opportunities whenever possible. Meghan, like the proverbial leopard, doesn't easily change her spots. So how could Harry have managed to leave the country unnoticed? Many of my followers know that I believe Harry and Meghan are often separated, even if not permanently. They likely spend a considerable amount of time apart. Harry, feeling unhappy and knowing that Meghan might reveal his plans, might have slipped out of the country discreetly. This would explain why exclusive reports started emerging from People magazine, their preferred outlet. Once it was confirmed that Harry was in the UK, the first we heard about it was his heartfelt tribute. Following Harry's visit to his late uncle's memorial, another exclusive from People magazine revealed that he stayed at Althorpe with his uncle Charles Spencer. The Spencers have been working behind the scenes to mend the rift between the brothers. They recognize William's hurt over Harry's betrayal, but they also sympathize with Harry's grievances, given how the Windsors handled Diana's situation. This commentary could be quite damaging and might reignite tensions between Prince William and the Spencers. The suggestion that Prince William is somehow the villain adds a negative spin to the narrative. The timing of these revelations coming shortly after Harry's visit to the service and possibly even after he returned home or received calls from Meghan raises questions. These stories, not beneficial to Harry's relationship with the Spencers, seem to have been strategically released. It appears that Meghan might be behind the disclosure of sensitive details about private family events, such as funerals. This pattern of leaking private information seems aligned with Harry's ongoing campaign against the royals, particularly targeting his father's side of the family. He has not taken any action against the Spencers. However, if Harry maintains a close relationship with the Spencers and has not shared this with Meghan, it could suggest that he is feeling discontented and seeking advice or support from his family. Considering Charles Spencer's history, having gone through multiple divorces, including his current third one, it is worth pondering how Meghan might react if she feels her position is threatened. Meghan deliberately distanced Harry from his family and friends early in their relationship to establish control over him. Should it become known that Harry has shared private and sensitive information about a memorial with the Spencers, it could severely impact his relationship with them, as they might be angered by his indiscretion. If Meghan fears that Harry is sharing confidences with the Spencers, she might need to address this issue. It is imperative that she prevents this from occurring. She must ensure that Harry realizes he has no support. Consequently, reports of Harry's efforts to rejoin the royal family began to spread rapidly. Harry seeks reconciliation with the royals, aiming to return and assume some duties. However, there has been considerable public backlash. The matter has been extensively discussed on television shows and panels, with a widespread sentiment being overwhelmingly negative. Surveys conducted, which are typically well received when it involves Harry and Meghan, showed that over 95% of respondents were against Harry's return. The general consensus was that he would not be welcomed back by the public. People hold the view that the decision to forgive Harry rests with the family themselves. If they choose to forgive him, that is their prerogative. Nevertheless, Harry is unlikely to return to a public role in the near future. It appears that this message was deliberately conveyed to Harry. It is known that both Harry and Meghan monitor social media and read the comments sections. This could be another factor that makes Harry feel trapped, reinforcing the idea that leaving is not an option. I suspect this reaction from Meghan was prompted by Harry's clandestine departure from the country without informing her. The absence of leaks about his departure, despite the presence of the photographers and the circumstances, leads me to believe that Meghan was not informed. This lack of communication has likely contributed to the ongoing tension. According to a recent article, Prince Harry's close associates have revealed that he has no intention of returning to the British royal family. He is reportedly very content with his life in California, where he lives with his wife and children. Furthermore, Harry is involved in several future projects and has formed new friendships which he greatly values. His satisfaction with his current life is evident. Now, as previously discussed, do you think Harry returned to the UK with the goal of confronting his brother, Prince William, in order to create more media buzz? Or do you believe he came back knowing that his presence would incite a media frenzy, particularly ahead of the release of his memoir, Spare, which could have reignited tensions within the family? Alternatively, could it be that Harry is slowly coming to realize that life in his brother's shadow is preferable to being overshadowed by his wife? Is the much celebrated love story of Harry and Meghan not quite the fairy tale ending it once seemed, especially when compared to other famous romances like that of Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez? Prince William also endured the loss of his mother, but unlike Harry, he has not used that tragedy as a justification for immature or reckless behavior. William has demonstrated immense strength, dignity, and composure despite the profound grief he has faced. Meanwhile, Harry's actions, filled with complaints and public outbursts, have dragged their family into the spotlight in a negative light. While Harry continues to voice his grievances, seemingly without regard for the impact on others, William has every right to shield his own family from someone who, in his view, has betrayed those who supported him for many years. It must be exhausting for William to continuously endure Harry's lamentations about their shared loss as if he alone has suffered. Harry's repeated references to their mother's death seem to serve as a way of reopening old wounds, making it difficult for William to grieve privately and peacefully. While Harry remains mired in self-pity, William continues to move forward, honoring their mother's legacy with grace and composure. William's attention is firmly on his family, his responsibilities, and the future of the monarchy, rather than seeking public sympathy by airing grievances. Harry could certainly learn from his older brother about carrying oneself with dignity, prioritizing and protecting one's family, and rising above personal pain instead of weaponizing it against those who care for him. William exemplifies what it means to be a true prince, embodying leadership and duty, while Harry seems trapped in a cycle of resentment and self-promotion. The contrast between them is striking, and it is long overdue for Harry to follow William's example and mature. What adds to my deep frustration with Harry is the way he has treated Catherine, who was nothing but a supportive and loving sister-in-law to him. His behavior towards her is particularly disgraceful. Catherine welcomed Harry with open arms, fully embracing him as part of the family and supporting him both publicly and privately. Yet, he repaid her kindness with betrayal. The way he turned on Catherine, dragging her into his ongoing feud with the royal family, is nothing short of unforgivable. He slandered her, portrayed her in the worst possible light, and sought to undermine her dignity, all because she stood by her husband, Prince William, and upheld the values of the family. What makes this situation even more troubling is Harry's audacity to expect William to overlook his continuous string of transgressions, as if his brother should simply ignore the pain and damage he has caused. Harry appears to believe that he can say and do whatever he likes, make accusations, belittle others, and that forgiveness will automatically follow. However, it doesn't work that way. The emotional wounds he has inflicted on his family, particularly on Catherine, will not heal easily or quickly. I sincerely hope that William never forgives Harry, as there are many who feel the same and will never forgive him either. Harry has not only betrayed his family, but also the trust of those who once supported and believed in him. He has deeply disappointed the very people who stood by him during his most difficult moments. Catherine, in particular, offered him nothing but kindness, yet he chose to tarnish her reputation. For Harry to expect forgiveness after such behavior is nothing short of insulting. He has crossed too many lines, burned too many bridges, all seemingly in pursuit of satisfying his ego and garnering public sympathy. His actions reveal a man willing to betray even those who cared for him most. And for betraying the support of people in his life, Harry deserves nothing but disdain. We stand firmly with William and Catherine, who have shown nothing but grace and honor in the face of relentless provocations. Meghan Markle once shockingly remarked, "We're only one plane crash away from the throne," a statement so vile and repugnant that it raises the question, how could any reasonable person ever forgive this malicious couple and consider welcoming them back into the royal family? Meghan's words reveal a disturbing lack of empathy and respect not only for the royal family but for basic human decency. This is a woman who has repeatedly demonstrated a willingness to say or do anything to further her own agenda, regardless of how tasteless or offensive it may be. Her remark isn't merely an offhand comment, it reflects a deeply twisted mindset that sees no issue with exploiting tragedy for personal gain. Such an outrageous statement reveals Meghan's true nature, manipulative and power-hungry, willing to stop at nothing to achieve her goals, even if it involves imagining catastrophic events that would devastate her husband's family. Why should the royal family, or anyone for that matter, forgive someone who sees them as mere obstacles to her ambitions? Meghan has repeatedly shown that she holds no respect for the family she married into, viewing them only as a means to secure a title and a platform for her personal gain. Her insensitivity and lack of compassion are beyond forgiveness, and the notion of her being welcomed back into the fold is absurd. She has crossed boundaries that should never be crossed, and with each passing day it becomes more evident that she has no intention of showing remorse or changing her behavior. Equally troubling is Harry's apparent fixation on Prince William and Princess Catherine's children, which raises even more concerns. It's absolutely terrifying. Who does Harry think he is? making such appalling and intrusive comments about his own niece and nephews. His recent remarks regarding the children of the Prince and Princess of Wales are yet another example of his complete disregard for boundaries, decency, and respect toward his own family. It's as though he has no awareness of the damage his words can cause, or perhaps he simply doesn't care. For Harry to insinuate anything negative or express undue concern about William and Catherine's children is an outrageous overstep. It's not just an insult to his brother and sister-in-law, it feels like a veiled threat that raises serious questions about what's going on in his mind. Who would feel comfortable allowing someone with such an unsettling fixation near their children? His obsession is deeply disturbing, and frankly, the royal family should be cautious and protect their own. Every precaution should be taken to keep Harry at a distance from the Wales children. Let's not forget that Harry and Meghan have made it a habit to attack the royal family at every opportunity. With no regard for the impact on anyone but themselves, they have dragged William, Catherine, and even their innocent children into their media spectacle. It's both disgraceful and potentially dangerous. Harry needs to realize that his reckless words have serious consequences. His ongoing attempts to play the victim while targeting his brother's family are unacceptable and should not be tolerated. The fact is, Harry should be kept far away from William and Catherine's children. His behavior is unpredictable, and his continuous assaults on the royal family make it clear that he cannot be trusted. The safety and privacy of the Wales children are far too important to risk around someone who seems intent on creating chaos and drama wherever he goes. Harry has revealed his true nature, and it is not that of a caring uncle. Instead, it is that of a bitter, resentful man who appears incapable of setting aside his grievances long enough to consider the well-being of others. That's all for today. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please comment below and share your opinions with me and everyone else. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe to our The King YouTube channel. Goodbye, and see you next time.